What's going on, everyone? This is kind of my first of these types of videos. And you know what? Before I get started, I need to uh, pay respect to Tour Off of Sports, Ticket TV, Basketball Facts, Uncommon Sense, and Dreamers Pro. I don't know if any of these brothers will ever see this video, but I have watched you all for a while, and seeing the work that you do, and it inspired me to do this video. Because, though I may not agree with 100% of everything you gentlemen say, at the end of the day, it's for those of us who know the history of the game, and we want to see it told correctly and not just some of these BS narratives that are being put out there, as well as educating people about the game and its history. And all of these brothers are doing that. So salute to you, and you all have inspired me to hop on this mic. So, professional LeBron apologist and cheerleader Rich Paul has come out and said that it was LeBron rather than Michael that had the harder path. And this is not due to competition. This is not due to any of those things. It is because of critiques and criticism. So let me give you a little bit. This is, there's a couple articles, but from Bleacher Report, here's part of what he had to say. Mike transcended the game. When Kobe came, Kobe was a silhouette of Mike. That's everything, which is great. But LeBron is the first player to have to deal with the 24/7 a 24/7 365 news cycle and opinions from those that are not even capable or carry the expertise to give a valid opinion. He goes on. In addition to, I'm not really going to do it how y'all want me to. I'm probably going to decide how I want to do it. We all know that don't go over well, right? And so then you have this environment in this sports society that's created. And so now you have to root against. And so now you have, that's a whole other thing Mike never had to deal with, because his hardest critic was probably Peter Vesey. I just think LeBron's antlers is in platinum and Michael Jordan's may be in gold. Why? Because he had to be compared to Mike. Who did Mike have to be compared to? Okay, let's just, first of all, what the hell is he even talking about? He did all that talking and didn't say anything. But never mind the fact that what he said is literally the part that you can parse out is completely inaccurate. And let me say this, because this whole LeBron Jordan the GOAT debate, first of all, it is the most manufactured debate in the history of sports. Because those who know me, I've been in sales before, and I know a sales pitch when I see one. And this is the worst that I have ever seen. Because here's the thing. If it were so self-evident that he was the greatest player of all time, you wouldn't have to constantly, daily, incessantly scream it from the mountaintops. You wouldn't have to tear down entire eras and players just to prop this one guy up. If this was truly the case, it would be so obvious that everyone would be able to see it. But they have to go through all this effort, this media effort, this narrative. And this is just the latest. Because if we're going to be perfectly honest, it was never a debate, first of all. It just wasn't. But second, obviously, you can't win on the court through achievements, through winning. That ship is sailed. It sailed, it's sunk, it's down at the bottom of the ocean. So then you're trying to obviously do it through sheer force of statistical achievements, i.e., these numbers. But people rightfully see that for what it is. So now you're having to kind of go outside to this other entire even area of, well, he's better because he didn't have as many people saying mean things about him, which is whatever. Because particularly before he won his first championship, Jordan was criticized a lot, be it his style of play and how that would never win, how he was, a ball hog and all these sorts of things that he had to deal with. Now, granted, there wasn't social media, if that's the aspect that he's talking about. But if you can play, you can play, regardless of what some people on the internet have to say. Which brings me to one of the other disjointed points that he made, was the part where he said that people, and I'm going to quote him, opinions from those that's not even capable or carry the expertise to give a valid opinion. Now, who is he talking about? Because he's obviously not talking about players who may disagree. Well, he could be. But that is directed at people like you and me, because the internet has changed the landscape in terms of being able to have a voice that anybody, you can get a microphone, and you can get out here, excuse me, and you can build your platform. And for those of us who don't subscribe to this narrative, this sales job, if you will, then it is us who are being deemed as unqualified and don't have the expertise. Well, many of us have watched basketball for decades, and we know the game when we see it. The other thing, and I don't know what he was talking about. He didn't have anyone to follow in terms of Jordan when he came into the league. That's just not true. Whether they're talking about comparing him to, in terms of winning, to Bird, Magic, early on, people making the comparison due to play style, to Dr. J and other, high flying type players. It's just simply not true. But the thing about, these sycophants, they never let facts get in the way of a bad argument, which you're seeing with the whole Steph Curry thing, which I'm not going to get too much into, but I'm just going to say this. One of the reasons I suspect that he's being elevated into this greatest point guard of all time is because if that thing can get legs and says, people says, yeah, well, all of a sudden, if you look back on failures and why he wasn't more successful, well, look at all the he had to play against the greatest point guard of all time, and Stephen Curry, a multiple-time champion, and Kevin Durant, and all these other players. But mind you, these are some of the same people who will be pushing this narrative, have said, such as in the case of Nick Wright, that KD and Steph together equaled LeBron. But hey, we'll just throw that out the window because it no longer suits our argument. And that's the thing. They're the king of moving the goalposts to fit whatever narrative is convenient for them at that particular point. So look, I don't know what Rich Paul is smoking. Well, yeah, I do. But anything to keep his name in the news cycle and continue to push this ridiculous argument that he is the best player to ever do it. Because, quite frankly, he's not. And, I mean, there may be some people who think that, and that's your opinion, but you're wrong. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'll be back with more videos real soon. Also, be sure to head over to my website, sneakershoptalk.com, for sneaker sports news. We update the site every day, the link to which will be in the description of this video. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. Tell the ones that you love them. Peace.